There are specific spots on your body that can make even the biggest, strongest person collapse in seconds. Knowing these spots could save your life in a dangerous situation, but using them wrong could land you in jail or cause permanent harm. What most self-defense teachers won't tell you is that these knockout points aren't magic at all. They're based on basic science that anyone can understand. And by the end of this video, you'll know exactly how they work and why they're so controversial. Forget all the mysterious stuff you've seen in movies. Pressure points aren't about magical energy. They're just spots on your body where nerves, blood vessels, and muscles come together close to the skin. Think of your nervous system like electrical wiring in a house. If you press or hit the right wire at the right spot, you can cause the whole circuit to overload. That's basically what happens with pressure points. When you strike or press these spots, you're sending too many signals through the nerves all at once. Your brain gets confused by all the pain signals flooding in. The result? Pain, loss of muscle control, or even passing out. There are over 800 of these points on your body. Today, I'm focusing on the two most important ones for self-defense. Why only two? Because in a real fight, you need to keep things simple. The fewer options you have to think about, the more likely you'll actually use them when it matters. The first point is called stomach 9, located on the side of your neck. Here's why it's so powerful. It's right next to your carotid artery and vagus nerve. Your carotid artery is the main tube that carries blood to your brain. The vagus nerve controls your heartbeat, breathing, and blood pressure. It's like the master control switch for your body's automatic systems. When you hit this spot correctly, you're not just causing pain. You're messing with blood flow to the brain and the nerve that controls vital functions at the same time. This can make someone dizzy, confused, or even knock them out. Even a light tap in exactly the right spot can cause a big reaction. The second point is called triple warmer 17, located just under the edge of your jaw, near the base of your skull. This spot affects the nerves that help you balance and move smoothly. When you press or strike here, you're interfering with signals that tell your body how to stay upright and coordinated. You can use two fingers, your thumb, or your hand to apply pressure to this point. Just press right at the edge of the jawbone, and you'll see an immediate discomfort reaction. But here's what makes this point special. It's about control. With the right pressure here, you can influence a person's movement or take them down, even if they're much bigger than you. Now, before we go further, you need to understand something about technique, because hitting the right spot with the wrong method won't work. Here's something that might surprise you. A huge, muscular person might actually be vulnerable to pressure points, because while they can use strength to resist locks or wrestling moves, they can't stop their nervous system from reacting to a well-placed strike. However, everyone's body is different. Some people have nerves in slightly different places, or more muscle or fat covering the pressure points. The way you shape your hand completely changes how well a pressure point strike works. For hitting stomach 9, you make a fist with your thumb down on top of your first finger, squeeze tight. This creates a hard point that focuses all your power into a tiny area. Think about it like this. If you push on a balloon with your whole hand, it just squishes. But if you poke it with one finger, you can push much deeper. That's what we're doing. Concentrating force into the smallest point possible. Most people think pressure point strikes are about punching hard with your arm. But the real power comes from your hips. When you step towards someone and strike, you're rotating your whole body in a circular motion, just like swinging a baseball bat. Your hips turn, and that rotation creates way more force than your arm alone ever could. When you strike a pressure point fast and hard, you're sending a massive flood of pain signals all at once. It's like overloading an electrical outlet. The system shuts down to protect itself. But here's a critical warning. How long someone stays unconscious depends on how hard you hit. A light tap might cause a quick reaction. A full power strike to stomach 9 can cause long-term unconsciousness, brain damage, or even death because of how close it is to the artery feeding your brain. Pressing steadily on a pressure point works differently. Instead of overwhelming everything at once, you're creating constant pain that makes it hard for someone to resist. If you're grabbed or pinned, steady pressure on triple warmer, 17 under the jaw, creates intense pain that can help you control the situation. They'll have difficulty fighting back because their nervous system is being overwhelmed continuously. What if you don't have strong hands? This is where everyday objects become useful. A pen, a hairbrush, even a comb. These items can be used to apply pressure. A pen can go through airport security anywhere without problems, but it's an effective tool for self-defense because the pointed tip concentrates force even better than your finger. These tools let smaller people or anyone without strong hands use pressure point techniques effectively. But before you try any of this, there's something absolutely critical about safety. Let me be crystal clear. This is not something you practice at full power with your friends. This is not for playing around. Why? Because the line between that hurts and call an ambulance is incredibly thin. Stomach 9 is right next to the artery that feeds blood to your brain. Too much force can cause a stroke, permanent brain damage, or death. Triple warmer. 17 affects nerves that control movement. Done wrong, you could cause lasting damage. If you want to find these points for learning, use your thumb with light, gradually increasing pressure. If the person says it hurts, you've found the right spot. Never use full force when training. Good training means understanding exactly where these spots are, starting light and building up slowly, and learning basic first aid for nerve injuries and blood vessel damage. Pressure points work even better when combined with locks, holds, and awareness of your surroundings. Here's an example. Someone attacks and you grab their finger to twist, but they resist with strength. This is where pressure points help. Apply pressure to their neck or collarbone, and suddenly you can control the situation. But remember, all this knowledge is useless if you're not paying attention to your surroundings. The best self-defense is avoiding the fight completely. When you're aware, you can see threats coming early and position yourself safely. Here's the uncomfortable truth. What counts as legal self-defense in one place might be considered a crime in another. Laws about self-defense vary wildly, depending on where you live. Hitting someone in the neck can be viewed very differently by police and courts than other defensive moves. Because these techniques can kill, you need to be able to explain why this level of force was necessary. The law usually requires that your response matches the threat. If someone just pushes you, responding with a potentially lethal neck strike will probably not be seen as legal. Also think about the mental impact. Seriously hurting someone, even in legitimate self-defense, can create lasting trauma for everyone involved, including you. Pressure point fighting is where ancient martial arts meets modern science. Points like stomach 9 and triple warmer 17 are vulnerable spots, where focused strikes or pressure can affect the nervous system. But this knowledge comes with serious responsibility. The potential for permanent injury or death is real.